Live free. I love that. You know what I don't like is when people take that slogan and they make it into a flyer for movies or make it into a flyer for furniture sales, because it really degrades what General Stark was telling each and every one of us. He wasn't telling us that we had to die on every single occasion, but we had to do everything we possibly could to succeed against tyranny. That's what he was saying. Give me liberty or give me death. That is American. You know, a lot of times too, and we're very fortunate to actually live here in New Hampshire, I hear people talk about the Second Amendment all the time. And I was down at CPAC a couple years ago on a panel, and I brought out the New Hampshire Constitution for him. I said, well, I got one to trump you. I've got actually 3 really good ones to trump you here in New Hampshire. Article 2A, all men have certain natural, essential, and inherent rights, among which are enjoying and defending life and liberty, acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, and in a word, of seeking and obtaining happiness. Equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by this state on account of race, creed, color, sex, or national origin. And then I said, but wait till you hear something that kind of is even a lot better than the Second Amendment. Article 2A of the New Hampshire Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no vagueness in these words at all. All persons have the right to keep and bear arms in defense of themselves, their families, their property, and the state. Not open to interpretation. Second Amendment is nice, folks, and make no mistake that I would do all I could to defend that. But we have a better trump card here in New Hampshire, and let us use it. And this next individual knows all too well about Article 2A and all the other great articles, Article 8 and Article 10. DanDumaine, he's grown up here in New Hampshire. Right now he currently lives in Auburn, New Hampshire. He is a state representative, a former police officer such as myself. He's going to talk about HB 135 and a lot of other things. Ladies and gentlemen, it is so nice that some representatives came out here to speak with you today, because they are your defenders in this chamber. A big round of applause, please, for DanDumaine.
How's America's first line of defense? They're not going to be able to take our guns away from us. Not with we outnumber them here, pal. All of us do. And I do feel a lot safer here than I do elsewhere. Part 1, Article 2A is like very self-explanatory, but some of these anti-gun zealots may not understand some of the words, so I'm going to try to clarify it for them. I know you guys do. Right to keep, that means have a gun. The right to bear, bear means carry it.
Carry, one person.
And also the state. The state means everywhere we can legally be. And there's no offense in that. It's we have a right to keep and bear arms in defense of ourselves, our family, property, and the state. There's no offense in there. We carry guns in case we need to defend ourselves or someone else. That's the whole point of that constitutional amendment and the Second Amendment. Excuse me. Let's put the shoe on the other foot. They want to take away our gun rights. They want to basically pick and choose constitutional amendments. They want to throw the Second Amendment under the bus. How do we defend the Constitution, protect the Constitution without the teeth of the Constitution?
Here, here.
And the teeth is us keeping and bearing arms. But people like President Obama want to remove the teeth. That's the first step. Now we have various bills coming through the House. We just won a major one. It was ITL'd out of committee saying that we didn't need it. We didn't need to have a law that said if somebody stole your gun and used it in a crime, that you would be liable. We didn't need it, so they ITL'd it. We beat that by 25 votes. As a result, the law is now this bill is going to be heading to the Senate, and I'm sure the Senate will pass it, but I'm sure the governor will veto it. This law will protect those people who have their guns in their homes or in their vehicles and they're stolen and used in a crime. The Constitution, let's just, like I said, put the shoe on the other foot. Let's say one of us want to go in there and file legislation against anybody who speaks against guns, anybody who speaks out and you know, opposing guns. Let's say that we pass legislation that says they're going to be charged with a felony if they talk against guns. They wouldn't like that. That would come down to, oh, you're violating my First Amendment rights. Okay, well, how about this? How about allowing the police or law enforcement or military to come into your homes without a warrant? Let's have, and if anybody tries to protect themselves from that, that's a felony. Oh, there goes the Fourth Amendment. You cannot pick and choose amendments. The Constitution is the Constitution, whether you like it or not. It is what it is. We have a right, anywhere we can legally be, to keep and bear arms, not to go out looking for people to shoot, but from us being kept from being shot. That's the point. Now, retreat, I'm a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. I was a law enforcement officer for 15 years. I have not forgot what I have been trained to do. I know exactly what I'm supposed to do. And you never do forget it because it's instinctively trained into us. We're taught never to retreat. We're taught to defend. Those law enforcement officers who didn't get a chance to retreat because the drop was on them have their names on a wall behind this building. They didn't have a chance. And what they're doing with House Bill 135 is to give you less of a chance. There are four. One, the repeal of 135 flies in the face of Part 1, Article 2A. Two, it lowers the bar, so law enforcement only has to prove that you had an avenue of escape. And they stop there, so they never go as far as did you have a right to use deadly force. And the other one is you have a right not to testify. But this law would force you to testify and give up your Fifth Amendment rights. Bottom line, there are four unconstitutional aspects if this bill passes. I won't obey it. I will not obey any unconstitutional law. And the police are obligated not to enforce those laws. The Constitution was put in place by a supermajority. The people have spoken. This is the way it is. You want to change it, there's a way to do that. A supermajority in the House, in the Senate, and then put it on the ballot and let the people vote to repeal Part 1, Article 2A. And you know that's not going to happen because there's far more of us than there is of them. But you cannot turn around and throw the constitutional amendment under the bus simply because you don't like it. You can't. Now, I have been trained to instinctively react. So I'm not even going to be thinking about retreating. When the crap hits the fan, I'm going to be looking for this person. I'm going to be trying to protect lives as well as my own and take him out as fast as I can take him out. And the police, like I said before, God love them, they never show up on time. It's not their fault. They can't be everywhere at once. But when they show up to either put an innocent person in a body bag or in an ambulance. Then they invest. Yes, they end up catching the person, but the person that they killed is just as dead. We are the first line of defense. We have to hold down the fort until the cavalry gets there. I got some questions that I'd like to ask, because I ended up taking Vice President Joe Biden's advice, and I got the shortest shotgun I could possibly get, and it still hangs out of my suit jacket, so I can't conceal it. But my first question to Joe is, a double-barrel shotgun? Really? That's my first question. The second one is, Joe, do you know where I can get a shoulder holster for this thing? Third question is, can I send my chiropractor bills to you, because this is really hurting my neck? And the other thing is, go out on your back deck and fire off 2 blasts separately or all together, Joe? I mean, and after my wife does that and empties both rounds, what does she do after she picks herself up off the deck? A shotgun, Joe? In this state, you go out on your back porch and you shoot a shotgun because you think somebody's coming into your house. That's a felony. That's reckless conduct. And with all that lead flying out, Joe, you may hit what you're aiming at, but you're going to hit a lot of other people too. An AR-15 round. Cancel the guy's ticket. Nobody else gets hurt. And my wife can handle an AR-15. I would never say to my wife, leave the castle, go over the moat, stand out in front of the house, and fire 2 shots. My wife knows enough to stay in the house.
I love it.
And I've taught her to put the stock against the wall so it doesn't blow her arm off. The whole point is he knows nothing about guns. And he thinks he's an authority on guns. I want Joe to take a double-barrel shotgun, go out, put it to his shoulder, and pull both triggers at the same time. I've never done that because I'm not stupid enough to. But his wife? He wants his wife to do that? Come on. I mean, this is the kind of crap that we're listening to. And I will not surrender my gun. I will not obey unconstitutional laws. And I'm saying to the police, you're obligated not to enforce unconstitutional laws. God bless you all, because you are the teeth of the Constitution, and they're sharp. And God bless New Hampshire, and God bless this country. Thank you very much. Can I take this thing off now?
Do you think that Mrs. Biden has ever listened to her husband? It'd be interesting if she has.
Croc TV.